oxygen. Oh, in an otherwise suffocating world, I'm reaching out for arms, I'm drowning in the open-ended love we're making, girl. Exhale the past, inhale the future that lasts. Change my heart, change my mind. For the last time, wanna believe in the life I've led. I don't wanna leave another word unsaid. You know my heart will follow you in tomorrow. In tomorrow. Holding on to memories that we've shared. My evidence you once really cared. I'm reaching for a hand to pull me up, one open to an everlasting love. Exhale the past, inhale the future that lasts. Change my heart, change my mind. For the last time, wanna believe in the life I've led. I don't wanna leave another word unsaid. You know my heart will follow you in tomorrow. In tomorrow. Initiating match.
All right, everybody, and here we are today with our round 3 contenders for Overwatch League. Got a little bit of a different lineup today. We had some people on a field trip, so today we are going to be starting with DerpKing, Rolexity, MiniMachine, CogsofWar, and GloryCross. It looks like on the opposing team, got Northeastern Oklahoma College, aka Neo. They will be running Loki, Mr. Gemini, Odin, Killer Zombie, and Sigin, I think, or Sid. That's a hard one to pronounce. We'll just pronounce them as Sig from now on. So it looks like Iowa Central will be rolling out a little bit brawly. A lot of damage with Rolexity and MiniMachine there. Oh, Rolexity swapping over to Reaper and MiniMachine taking the Bastion. Lots of damage. The tank is going to have to beware, but with the Sigma, that poke should help a little bit, be able to keep them at arm's length. And looks like that Odin with Soldier 76 should be contesting high ground there. So him and Mini will probably duke that one out. It looks like Iowa Central is going to opt to run in for high ground here. Mr. Gemini looking for some kind of an off angle. Doesn't really have much to do from the low ground there. Is going to kind of rush in. And it looks like MiniMachine getting the first pick of the day here. Going to take down one of the supports on Neo's team. Which is going to be pretty big. Unfortunately, CogsofWar is going to go down. Rolexity not looking good. Gets rocked. Is also going to go down. GloryCross does take down one of their other supports here. But is it going to be enough for DerpKing to be able to 2v3 or 1v3 there? It is not. Loki and Odin gonna finish this one out, and that is almost poetic at that point. And it looks like 9% here. Neo does have this percentage advantage here. They're coming up with that 15%. And Iowa Central is trying to figure out here how they're going to be pushing in on this one. It looks like they're going to opt for right side here. 23% in counting. They got to cap this point fast and not give too much of a lead here. Got a lot of ultimates coming up on Neo's side. Rolexity is going to go down pretty quickly there. And so is the tank here. DerpKing unfortunately going down, and it's just going to be one after another here. The support's not able to keep up with the damage output, it looks like. GloryCross is going to be trying to escape Odin here. Does manage to get out CogsofWar, keeping GloryCross alive. That's a pretty tough one to go into here. We have Soldier ult and Reaper ult on Neo's side here. A couple of the supports here, and maybe DerpKing should have his ult in your next fight. So not a lot of ult charge going on. These fights are actually going down really quickly. They're finding their picks, and they're doing that quickly. We just see that Orisa ult come out. Unfortunately, everyone managed to get out, but that does burn the immortality field. We're going to see Soldier 76 ult, but Iowa Central already having too much of a lead there. They're not really going to be able to get too much out of it. GloryCross does still have ultimate. MiniMachine should also be having ultimate soon. They do have Reaper ult on Neo's side, along with Loki and Sigan about to get their ultimates. So we could see a rush blade, almost sort of a Beyblade kind of thing coming on. And then we could also see a gravity Death Blossom. So we'll have to see which one pops out here. Rolexity is going to go down here. That's going to put Iowa Central at a disadvantage for this fight. And we're seeing Bastion take that rock. Unfortunately, that immortality field is going to go down, and he goes down with it. We see Rush come out from Neo here just to secure that fight. Maybe a little unnecessary, but they did go ahead and use it, which could be good for Iowa Central. It means they don't have to worry about that too much, but they do still have two ultimates to worry about with that Sigma and that Reaper. MiniMachine and GloryCross may be able to help take this point, and we could see Rolexity get the Junkrat ultimate, but we'll just have to wait and see. Got Reaper hiding on this off angle here. We're going to see Griffith come out. Goes for that room. Gets CogsofWar, but he did have Immortality out, so that helps a little bit. DerpKing is able to touch and get them into overtime, but Reaper's going to clean up their back line. It's just DerpKing on the point here versus Killer Zombie and Loki. And he is just holding that shield up, trying to survive as long as he can. GloryCross gets there, but unfortunately not going to be able to do too much here. Iowa Central is going to lose this first round to Neo. Really slow fights, just really hard to kind of tell what exactly is holding everyone back here. But they're really just, at the end of the day, they're just losing the team fights. And they just have to either play better around ultimates or figure out what is going wrong in these team fights and kind of step up a little bit. Neo, on the other hand, does seem to be doing really well. They have a lot of coordination in these team fights. It seems like they are focus firing very well. Sigma is constantly following up on targets with rock and finishing them off, and it's just a wombo combo that Iowa Central is just not ready for, I think. All right, we've got very similar comps here. Rolexity did switch to Soldier 76. MiniMachine is sticking to the Bastion, so we'll have to see how this looks here. We're gonna have to see if this looks like the tank may actually be the deciding factor here, and I'm not really so sure which one is gonna win this. I know the Sigma is very good at the character, and could potentially be outplaying DerpKing, but if DerpKing can manage to get his Shatter built up, he could just outplay via ultimate. Seeing Loki really push into Iowa Central's back line here. He's going to absorb a lot of MiniMachine's fire from turret form on the Bastion. Meanwhile, DerpKing and CogsofWar are trying to fight on the point here. 3v1, Loki is doing pretty good at holding them back, but unfortunately, he is going to go down. We've got 3v3 here. Iowa Central could potentially push into that point, but they are just not wanting to really move in with their tank down like that. and that is going to be Iowa Central trickling pretty hard here, having a pretty big stagger as Reaper comes up to the back line trying to finish him out. GloryCross is going to manage to get out. It's just unfortunate they didn't go in to take that fight. They could have even rotated back, but it was that indecision really that just caused them to get super staggered like that. Looks like we are waiting for MiniMachine to catch up here, and unfortunately, Rolexity is going to go down pretty quickly to this Reaper, who is just constantly in their back line harassing. DerpKing's trying to make some space happen here. Really hard to play around that Sigma barrier. He does get a pretty decent pin off, and we're going to see that window come up from bat, but unfortunately, Reinhardt does go down. Sigma's going to use ultimate, throw them down. That's a lot of ultimates coming out from Neo's side. Rolexity should have definitely just gotten out there, but it looks like he is also going to go down. That's a team wipe. Iowa Central is down. DerpKing is slowly making his way out here, just trying to wait for his team, it looks like. Throwing out some 5 strikes, trying to get... oh, no, he actually has ultimate. So we could see some plays here. We have Shatter. We have GloryCross is Coalescence. Let's see if the plays come out. You can see a big Shatter. Oh, but unfortunately, Reaper's going to come into the back line and use Death Blossom. Iowa Central definitely needs to reset now. They do not have time to keep trying to push this. GloryCross pops ultimate, just trying to kind of maybe force the enemy team back away, which is really good. We could see potentially Iowa Central moving in for a play here, but unfortunately, DerpKing is just not going to be able to stay alive. He's having so much trouble against this Sigma. And we're going to have it here, 99. I don't think Iowa Central can touch here, and that is going to be Neo Overwatch taking the first round. Watch us play the game, and then we'll be right back for round 2. And hello everybody, we are back. A little bit of a comp swap here, and we are going to be playing Numbani for our second round. CogsofWar is going to be swapping over to the tank role here to start us off. Rolexity and MiniMachine on our DPS, and SumTingWon and GloryCross on support. A little bit of a new player here, SumTingWon. He has played in the past for Overwatch, but normally it was reserved over to the Rainbow Six team. Decided to step in today since we are short-handed just as a player. So we've got Iowa Central here defending. Is going to be Doomfist, Junkrat, Bastion, Ana, and Moira. And then on the attacker side, we're going to have Junker Queen, Bastion, Sojourn, Lucio, and Ilari. All right, we've got a pretty good setup here, I think, for defense. Lots of ability to get in and out of places. We're going to see CogsofWar punching down here, trying to pump that damage out. Managed to get out half health. SumTingWon going to try and heal him up here. Loki pushing in by himself, gets punched into a wall. CogsofWar just trying to be a little bit of a wall here. It's a little bit harder to do so when you are a dive tank, not really much of a barrier player. They have a lot of damage they can be pumping out here. He's going to go ahead and jump into the back line here and kind of give them a little bit of harass. Odin going to jump up ahead here. CogsofWar easily jumping back, though, just to keep up with the back line here. MiniMachine taking a lot of pressure there from Loki is going to go down. It looks like CogsofWar is also going to fall down here as the rest of the team is focusing on the sports, which is having a little bit of a hard time keeping up. But that is going to be Iowa Central losing this first point here. I don't think they're going to be able to regroup time. We do have everybody luckily spawning at the shorter spawn, so that's good. They'll be able to catch up here pretty quickly. But we'll have to see if Iowa Central can apply a little bit more pressure to their back line, or at least kind of protect their back line a little bit better. Okay. CogsofWar is having a hard time finding a good in for pressure. Looking for that punch there out the doorway, not going to have it, but MiniMachine laying a lot of damage into their back line. We're going to see a meteor strike come out. Down goes the Lucio. CogsofWar is going to help finish off the rest of the team here as he gets nanoed in. He's going to go in for Loki and finishes out Loki as well. Very good cleanup from Iowa Central. CogsofWar on the Doomfist is actually doing quite a lot of work there on that back line, and Bastion, of course, putting that much pressure on their tank to help their back line is very good as well. All right, we're going to see Bastion ult from Neo here. Does not actually get anyone. CogsofWar trying to punch the Lucio into the wall there. Unfortunately, goes down pretty quickly there. The supports weren't able to really keep line of sight of him. Rolexity getting a pretty big 2 kill there with his tire. He's going to take the high ground. They do still have their tank up. They do have their tank up, but they do not have any supports. So they are pushing this point up quite a bit. Lexi trying to pressure them as much as possible. CogsofWar is going to come in here, and they've got GloryCross as well. GloryCross is going to pop ultimate. Unfortunately, goes down. Oh, no, faded out, I think. No, okay, no. Bastion did get him. I thought he went down. She went down. I was very confused. All right, but it looks like Neo is going to take that fight and continue pushing that payload. Iowa Central is having a hard time recouping here. They're going to have to probably give this point unless they can get there in time. Bastion maybe will stall for enough time. Did stall the payload. It looks like they're grouped up enough. We're going to see CogsofWar go in. Bastion's trying to melt down his health bar. He's punching him away. Pops ultimate and takes down the Bastion. That's a lot of that damage taken out. MiniMachine going to pop into turret form and force them back down. Loki, unfortunately, not taking enough damage to go down. Odin taking a lot of damage from CogsofWar there. He's going to keep applying that pressure. That has to get out here before too long as Junker Queen ults the back line. Junker Queen is separated out here. Tries to use Shout to get out. Rolexity is going to chase her down. CogsofWar is going to take advantage of this. Jumps on Odin and takes him down. Pops out that Alari pylon. We've got Lucio and Junker Queen still prime in position for Iowa Central's back line here. CogsofWar is going to go down as well, so they are down their tank. But he may have applied enough pressure here. They just have to regroup, and CogsofWar being on Doomfist, he's going to be able to get there pretty quickly if he can pull out well enough. We saw that Bastion ult come out from Neo. Bastion on Iowa Central side is going to go down. CogsofWar gets back and tries to stall, but it's not going to happen. And a little bit of a stall there for Rolexity as well. GloryCross does manage to get out. Iowa Central is regrouping. And Neo's getting past that first choke there, which is a pretty tough position usually for defense to get out, but unfortunately Iowa Central did not roll out in time to stop them. They're going to have to play this corner. We've got Junkrat and Bastion in this small room here. That's going to be pretty difficult for them to take that angle. And Alari ult coming out, not hitting anything, is really big for Iowa Central as well. Got a 4v4 here as both Bastions are out of the fight. Lexi's going to come in and takes out Odin. CogsofWar jumping into the back line there, just misses the Alari. Is going to keep applying that pressure though. Getting pretty low here. He does have ultimate. We could see him pop that here. Plus SumTingWon with the on a nano boost could be firing that out here pretty soon. He just has to get that right line of sight as he is playing pretty far back. Okay, a little bit of a stalemate going on here. We're not seeing any ultimates on Neo's side, which means Iowa Central definitely has the advantage for this fight, but they do have to hold it for 2.5 minutes. See a Meteor Strike come out. Does not hit anyone, but he does manage to punch Odin into the wall there and take him out. GloryCross is going to go down. That's one support down for Iowa Central. May have to see this nano come into play, hopefully. Maybe MiniMachine could pump out a lot of damage, get ultimate. We could see Rolexity potentially have a huge play with Tire here. Unfortunately, he just goes down. Could see him pop Tire in spawn. We'll have to see if that's going to make a difference or not. The CogsofWar gets 2 picks in their back line, and that's going to finally force Neo to back off. That point is getting really close here. Minute and 41 seconds left to push it still. They could definitely back off here and play for ultimates and win this fight, but we're just going to have to see if that's what's going to come down to here, sorry. We do have both the DPS ults on Iowa Central side, and we have Loki on that Junker Queen with ultimate as well. We could see a big play with Junker Queen ult, but it could be very easily shut down by Iowa Central as well. We're getting hit Doomfist ult as well. It's just going to give him a little bit more play into their back line. He's going to definitely dive in on these supports. They are going to manage to kind of tighten him away from the fight here as Junker Queen and Reaper are trying to make a play for the point. They end up having to back out though as their supports are both distracted. We're seeing Reaper come up behind MiniMachine. MiniMachine unfortunately is going to go down. Could have to see Junkrat's Tire come into play here. Okay, Loki going for the Junkrat. Unfortunately, Junkrat is going to go down. We're going to see a nano boosted Mercy go for Res. Definitely one way to play it. Seeing Bastion ults. Junkrat Tire comes out. Got their tank down. We could see CogsofWar and MiniMachine take this one back. Just the supports on the point right now. CogsofWar cannot leave this point. GloryCross is going to come in, give him a little bit of support. Ooh, and that's going to be Reaper ult taking out the Mercy. CogsofWar does live a little bit longer here. SumTingWon gets the sleep on the Moira. Unfortunately, Moira is going to fade away before Junkrat can finish her off. And there's going to be the Moira ult cleaning up that fight. And with 5.8 seconds on the clock, we are going to see Neo get the points. Unfortunately, Iowa Central could not get them into overtime. On hybrid maps, getting them into overtime means you stand a chance at putting them in a pretty bad situation round 3 if you can push it all the way above overtime. But unfortunately, that's not going to be the case. We could be seeing this potentially go into round 4. Of course, this is all going to depend on Iowa Central's attack. We'll have to see if that's going to be a little bit better. Defense on this map with dives a little bit harder than it is for offense. Definitely favors offensive dive. So we'll have to see if it's going to be that case or not. I think what we're seeing a lot of though is CogsofWar diving really hard into the back line, and his own back line kind of suffering the consequences of it as Junker Queen was just kind of running into their backline and shredding them a little bit. I think if we saw either the DPS on Iowa Central side step up and be able to take out that Junker Queen a little bit faster, or if CogsofWar maybe retreats back a little bit faster, we could see the fights go a little bit differently. It looks like they're just kind of trying to figure out each other's tempo, though. They definitely have not practiced this comp before, so it's something new for them, for sure. Of course, I can't speak to Neo College's own practices, but they do seem like they know what they're doing. The comps they're picking, they're gonna be playing pretty aggressive defense here with that Rhine, and could see this backfire on them. Reaper's gonna run into the back line and try to take out MiniMachine. It looks like their target priority is definitely going to that Bastion. If they get that Bastion down, it makes it really hard for Iowa Central to do much without their tank. CogsofWar is going to get that Reaper taken out, and he took out the soldier already, so that is the DPS down, and that's going to be the tank as well. Like I said, this is where we're starting to see that aggressive defense backfire on them. Iowa Central is going to push onto the point here. CogsofWar is going to try and take out Killer Zombie here. Does manage to get that one support down and a stagger for them as well. They need to be capping the point right now. Nobody on Iowa Central side is getting on the point. Finally, they decide to get on the point and start capping. That Doomfist going in for that Reaper does manage to take him out. Loki switching over to the Orisa is going to be trying to counter swap this Doomfist here. Doesn't look like it's going too well, but also the supports were staggered pretty hard there. Iowa Central did capture the point. See CogsofWar try to get their supports even more. Oh my goodness, and we're seeing CogsofWar clean up that back line, just killing both supports there, getting them really hard staggered here. They're gonna back up a little bit, try to push this cart a little faster. They need 3 on the point, of course, to do so. We could see CogsofWar going in again here and maybe potentially getting that back line disrupted once again. But with that long spawn, they have no reason to wait here. They have a long way to push from Iowa Central, so they could just be waiting back here. It looks like CogsofWar is going to go up to the high ground here and try to disrupt that. GloryCross keeping on him, giving him all the support. Just kind of giving him that mercy pocket a little bit. We're seeing Bastion try to play out the damage here against the tank. But it looks like most of them have rotated it down to the bottom here and they're trying to get that back line. CogsofWar pushing into their back line, getting a couple picks here. Actually, Rolexity helping out with the rockets, gets both supports down. Right now it's down to the Orisa and the Reaper, but Reaper is just going to get out and Orisa is going to fall really quickly. Iowa Central is going to be able to get that point here. Really good play from CogsofWar. We're seeing him just be an absolute menace into their backline. Attack is definitely working out a lot better for them. They have 5 minutes and 30 seconds to push this point all the way. It's going to get a little bit hairy once they get to the end there and they're really close to that spawn. But if Iowa Central, CogsofWar really keeps doing what he's doing, we could see this game basically be won almost solo-handedly by this tank. It's a little bit crazy. Rolexity is going to go ahead and pop Soldier ult, comes up behind that Orisa, does manage to take him out. Reaper is going to be trying to get away here into their back line. He's really close to ult, so he's definitely looking for that quick Death Blossom. We're going to see if that's going to be the case, but no, Iowa Central turns around on him and takes him out before he can do anything. We see CogsofWar taking out the Zenyatta and then the other support here, Alari. We're going to see Soldier ult on the enemy team on Neo. And with Reaper with Death Blossom gets punched out of it though into the wall. It is now down to CogsofWar being able to take down this tank fight. He is going to back out here before he dies though. He does have ultimate, but it's just going to be a really tough fight going against the Orisa. Orisa does sort of hard counter him. Okay, once his team is here, he's not going to waste any time. He's just going to be trying to get a good in. Goes into the back line, punches the tank. Ults in, we're going to see Killer Zombie pop Transcendence. That's going to be Iowa Central's Q to back away. They cannot fight while Transcendence is up. He's going to get a good punch here, gets the Mei and the Zenyatta down as they pushed ahead of that tank there. And unfortunately, it looks like that fight is going to be CogsofWar and GloryCross going down. Iowa Central could still win this, but it's going to be really tough when you don't have a tank, and they do. They are probably going to be forced back out here. We could see this Orisa use ultimate here pretty proactively. MiniMachine does have ultimate with Bastion as well, though, so this could go either way. We could see a big Bastion play. We could see a big Orisa play, especially with Doomfist. All right, that's a big Bastion play, it looks like, but did get a lot of people low there, just didn't quite get any kills, but he managed to give CogsofWar the end that he needed. CogsofWar is going to clean this fight up pretty quickly here. Just that Mei. CogsofWar is going to chase the Mei down. IOCentral is going to continue to push here. They're definitely going to be dealing with an Orisa ult out of spawn. They've still got 3 minutes on the clock, so this is going to be really big if they can cap this here. And there it is, IOCentral capping with 3 minutes and 54 seconds on the clock. This is going to be big. That means 1 minute for Neo here to get that point captured. And 3 minutes and 54 seconds for IOCentral to get that as far as they can. I believe IOCentral is even going to be starting off here. I don't remember if it's time-based or if it's swap side, and it depends on who started first. But I think IOCentral attacks first. And it will be up to Neo to match them. It looks like IOCentral actually starting defense here. So it's going to be basically they're going to set the pace for themselves here. Whatever Neo does in a minute is what IOCentral is going to have to do in nearly 4 minutes. So definitely favored for IOCentral here, but we'll have to see what Neo pulls out. The defense was pretty tough for IOCentral before, so we could potentially see that happen again, but we'll have to see. It looks like IOCentral's really found their rhythm here, and having that Mercy support, I think, really helps, especially when you have someone like, keep up with CogsofWar and keep him alive in that back line a little bit longer. He's able to do a lot more. What's happened here? I'm not really entirely sure what happened. It looks like CogsofWar got DC'd here. Again, real quick and see what happened.
friends at the table doing shots, drinking faster than we talk slow. Come over and start a conversation with just me, and trust me, I'll give it a chance. Now take my hand, stop, Havana Man on the jukebox, and then we start to dance. And now I'm singing like, girl, you know I want your love, your love.
Okay, and we are back. Had a little bit of a trouble there with a power outage, but he was able to get back in time. Unfortunately, I think with the power reset, he ended up back in spawn, so it was a little rough for Iowa Central, but it is what it is. We're seeing them hold that point pretty well there. Unfortunately, they weren't able to keep touching for long enough, though. That is going to be that point capped. And Iowa Central is definitely going to need to recoup for that. It's just Rolexity and SumTingWon at this point. Hopefully they can get out. Iowa Central should be able to recover from this. Like I said, they've got almost 4 minutes to do what they do in a minute. So we'll have to see Iowa Central come back and try to win this next team fight. That's really all that Iowa Central's going to one fight. MiniMachine putting a lot of damage pressure here as they round this corner. CogsofWar is going to punch in on this Bastion and try to take him down. It looks like he's going to go down, though, as well as GloryCross. This will be Iowa Central in a rough spot here coming into this next fight. We could see Neo cap the second point here. A lot of momentum from Neo. SumTingWon getting hard staggered there. Be pretty rough for Iowa Central to defend here. CogsofWar is going to be going in, trying to do something into their back line, but he is immediately going to be melted. It was definitely a pretty aggressive play. Should have just played that patient. They are definitely panicking at this point. They do not want them to get this all the way. Okay, CogsofWar getting nandoed, rolls out on the Zarya. But Iowa Central is going to be losing 2 here in this fight. They just don't have the ults to back this fight up like Neo does. CogsofWar getting antied there is also going to be really big. Looks like his bubbles may have been on cooldown, and Neo is going to manage to cap this in overtime. Iowa Central has 4 minutes, but they are going to have to get this point the entire way. They've definitely put themselves in probably the worst position that they can be, given the advantage that they had. Very unfortunate early disconnect, but at the end of the day, that's not really going to make much of a difference. They'll probably cap that first point, but from there, everything else is kind of on Iowa Central. They just let themselves get staggered. They did not play patient and group up, and they did not play around the ultimates. They were definitely at the disadvantage for every team fight, but they could have played it a lot better. All right, seeing this side swap. Hopefully Iowa Central can run this offense as good as they did last time. Could potentially see them cap and move on to a third round. We could potentially even see a tie. I think past round 5 and 6, I think it just goes straight to a tie. So we could potentially see that happen. It looks like Iowa Central's going to take their chances going down mid. Cogs, we're going to jump up and get that Bastion. Oh, but he goes down really quickly there. Odin and Bastion just pumping in way too much damage for him to survive. MiniMachine is also going to go down just from that poke damage. Mercy does get the res off. We're seeing him swap off Doomfist to Sigma. We'll have to see if that poke is going to be able to cap this point fast enough. And we're seeing Loki get antied here. And it's looking like Neo is taking a lot of damage, but with the Rolexity going down like that, this could make all the difference. Loki's still taking all that damage, just barely staying alive there. Iowa Central takes down the pylon. That's a lot of that healing gone away. But that is going to be a Lari ult coming out, which could be big here. And we're going to see Odin finishing off 2 of them here. CogsofWar and MiniMachine. Iowa Central, once again, is going to have to reset. We've got 2.5 minutes here. Got to make a play, and they've got to make it. They've got to keep themselves with that momentum to keep running. Okay, we're seeing Loki getting back with that Orisa. And Bastion is going to get a pretty big ult here. That's the Alari down. That's a lot of the healing cut down, but they do still have that Alari pylon up. Definitely need to take care of that. Completely count Alari out for the fight. Finally, that pylon does go down. They did manage to get their DPS down as well. Loki tries to ult, but does not get much value out of it. Lexi's taking a lot of damage here, but they have managed to separate out that Ana and take Ana out. Looks like that Orisa may be getting out of here live, though. So unfortunately, they couldn't stagger the tank. They're definitely going to be ready as they can group up here properly. They do have a couple. Their DPS are short spawn, so they are a little separated, but they are going to be rotating over. They're doing the smart thing. CogsofWar looking to kind of make some space here, is kind of pushing out pretty far. Got a little bit of an Ana fight going on here as well. CogsofWar does have ultimate. Rolexity should have Tire here pretty soon, but we've got a lot of ultimates on Neo side as well. We're going to see Bastion go ahead and pop ultimate. CogsofWar is going to try and pop ultimate on that Bastion in the back. Does manage to get Odin. That is one of their supports down. CogsofWar looking pretty rough with that anti as well. MiniMachine's going to be pushing up with a lot of pressure there. Barely held alive by that Ana grenade. Rolexity does manage to get the Ana down though, so that's some healing down for Neo that could give Iowa Central the momentum that they need here. They've got 2 picks, and they're going to be pushing up to get for those staggers. And we're seeing that Rock come out and stun the Alari out of ultimate as well, which is really big. Really big play. MiniMachine cleaning up those fights as well, so it's big damage. We've got 30 seconds here. We should see Iowa Central get up to this second point, but beyond that is totally up to them. We've got Rolexity and SumTingWon, so that's Nano and Tire, and Odin with the Railgun ultimate here. Overcharge ultimate. So we could see a big play from that. Odin's going to be pushing in by himself just to try and prevent them from getting that. We're going to see Nano come out and Tire come out, though. Iowa Central continues to push up. A lot of damage coming out on Loki there. Tire trying to avoid that Alari, but unfortunately is going to go down to that Alari. We've got Reaper doing a lot of work in the back line there, it looks like, as the Bastion goes down. We're going to see Overcharge come out as well. Bastion did get res, so we could see this counterplay work out. Reaper does get Rolexity. He's going back in. Iowa Central's having a hard time dealing with their back line here, as well as the Moira seems to be having her time in there. We're going to see CogsofWar pop an ultimate on the Alari, just trying to get their supports down, maybe change this fight, but it looks like that's going to be all. Iowa Central is going to go down for the second round. Watch us play the game, and then we will be right back as we switch over to our escort app. All right, everybody, and we are back here for round 3. I have to fix that scoreboard, actually. That is my fault. We are seeing 2 points here for Neo and Iowa Central by having a close match there. Still sitting at 0. We are going to be doing Dorado for the escort map here. We're going to see Iowa Central defending and Neo on the attack. Should be pretty interesting to see. It looks like we've got a very similar setup to that new Bonnie match. We've got Iowa Central running a sort of divey comp and more of an aggressive rush comp from Neo here. It's really just going to be a backline war. It's whoever can kill the backline first is kind of going to win these fights. Got Reaper coming up on Rolexity. Rolexity does manage to finish him out. CogsofWar also getting that support really early is going to be huge for this first fight. That's going to be really tough for them to get past this corner. CogsofWar is going to go down and pressure that point. Got Odin here on that right side is going to go down. Rolexity pumping out that damage as he was focusing the tank on that off angle. Just a really bad off angle for him to take in the first place when they have control of high ground. All right, and CogsofWar getting that Bastion down as soon as he transforms is actually huge. Just keeps punching Loki away. Does not want this tank to be taking ground. Gonna jump back on Odin. Try and take out that Soldier 76. Punches the tank away. He's managed to stay alive. GloryCross just doing God's work there with that healing. That damage boost is also huge. Ooh, gets slept just before punching that Ana, though, unfortunately. GloryCross making sure he stays alive as well. SumTingWon on that Ana, too. That angle is actually really good for CogsofWar. Just kind of able to run into their backline and do whatever he wants. He just keeps bumping up his ultimate charge here. Ooh, and that's really big asleep on the Ana, and he's going to get a free kill there. Iowa Central, like I said, just not wanting them to get past this corner here. They are having a hard time getting a good in on Iowa Central. Loki is going in for that Mercy, just all in on him. You do see a Nano on the Doomfist. He's going to run into the back line here. That Bastion in tank form is going to go down pretty quick. Rolexity following up on Odin. Meteor Strike coming out as well, slowing down Loki. He's not able to do too much. And unfortunately, Soldier 76 also going to go down. Loki's going to keep trying to push the point. It's just not doing a whole lot there. He gets antied. And Iowa Central finish him out, though. And it looks like they do. CogsofWar also getting antied here, but he is just going to keep pressuring that Ana. There's not a whole lot else they can do. Their tank is down. Rolexity having some pretty big damage there on that high ground. And then following up with the Doomfist. Big. It looks like he's running around back for the high ground here. CogsofWar's going to have to play a little bit safe. He sees a soldier by himself, goes for it. Seeing a Suzu there prevent him from actually landing the punch. Oh, and unfortunately, so he is going to go down, but we're going to see Mercy try to res, and Mercy does get the res off. CogsofWar going in on this Bastion here. Mercy just keeping him up, and the Bastion just continuing to charge that fish. We're going to see Rush come out. Could see some ults from Iowa Central here pretty soon as well. Got that Soldier ult. That Bastion is going to ult. Does not quite get the Mercy, though. Pretty close. Odin does use the Soldier ult. We're going to see CogsofWar dive straight on him. And unfortunately, we're going to see Bastion be able to finish him off as Iowa Central kind of going down there. Their backline getting dived. Ana trying to escape here, not get too staggered. This is going to be pretty tough. Ana gets staggered. Unfortunately, Ana does go down. This is going to be pretty tough for Iowa Central to play for retake here. Only got 3 people here, and they don't have any supports. Mercy is making it in. You have some ultimates here. It looks like Tyre's going to come out with the Doomfist. Unfortunately, Tyre does die. Loki does manage to take him out. CogsofWar taking out one of the supports, though, could mean that they are able to retake this point. We're going to see CogsofWar and GloryCross go down, though. It's up to the DPS. Can they change this fight? SumTingWon getting the Nano on MiniMachine. And we're gonna see their tank go down as she ults, but it does look like they're gonna win the fight for it. Unfortunately for Iowa Central, but that is good that they did manage to get the Junker Queen ults. We've CogsofWar and Rolexity with ultimate here. 2 minutes and 50 seconds here on the clock for Neo to capture the second point. So Iowa Central definitely held them for a good amount of time here. We could see them potentially stop this second point. We'll have to see. This one's a little bit harder for the attackers. Definitely, once you get past that first choke there on attack, that first point is a lot easier. A lot less angles you have to worry about the defense side coming in from. I see a meteor strike onto the soldier. Soldier does go down. That's 2 picks for Iowa Central. Unfortunately, the Mercy goes down. Rolexity's coming into this back line, just going full in on that support. CogsofWar healing up and coming in to help him get out. Really good rotations there from Iowa Central, actually. CogsofWar focusing on the tank here. And we're seeing that tank go down. Odin doing his best to stay alive, manages to win the duel there with Soldier. Holding that point really well, actually. Looks like he does have ult. We could see him take high ground here and actually do some really big work into their back line. The CogsofWar punch in here. That Suzu on the Bastion is going to mean he can't punch him. He tries to get out, but it's just not going to work out. And unfortunately, Mercy is going to die and attempting to res. We are going to have to definitely see a big play here from Rolexity. Otherwise, this point is going to be going to Neo. They have the Bastion ult as well, so that's something they are going to have to worry about. And they've got Odin here holding that high ground. Means it is going to be pretty hard contested. Soldiers going to have a hard time getting in. Doomfist going to touch to the point here. Punches the Bastion away, just trying to focus him down. We're seeing Soldier 76 ult here. Rolexity pumping out a lot of damage, but he just does not have the angles for it. And unfortunately, he's going to go down to the Bastion. Seeing Narga did something with the tire. Good. And Loki with that anti. Ooh, unfortunately gets Suzu'd, but it's fine. CogsofWar is going to manage to take him out anyway. Gets down the support, goes for the next one. Bastion is going to be ulting the point. Unfortunately, no one's going to die. And it looks like Iowa Central is able to play retake here. They've got 1 minute left for a push here from Neo. And that Soldier's trying to get out. CogsofWar is going to chase him down a little bit, but ultimately is not going to challenge too far there as the mobility on Soldier is pretty good. And he does not want to get caught out by Neo's team here. Looks like Soldier is going to be playing for this off-angle GloryCross in prime position. MiniMachine as well. Going to climb all the way up to high ground here as they push out Rush. He pops ultimate. CogsofWar jumps up on him, pushes him off that high ground, which is really good, but that point is pushing in. CogsofWar focusing that back end. Loki going to sleep is big here. Lexi is able to jump out onto the point. They're focusing down Loki, it looks like, and that is the tank down. CogsofWar still really healthy. Going to run in and get that Bastion down. And it looks like Iowa Central cleaning up the rest of this fight here. Killer Zombie trying to kind of back up a little bit, but Ana not going to let that happen. Has that back off angle up on that high ground. Is going to see everything. This will be Iowa Central stopping them just before second point, which is definitely really good progress for them to be able to get to. Especially on a map like Dorado, if they're continuing to play dive, they should have a really good advantage on attack, just like we saw them on Numbani. Let's see what they're rolling out with here this time around. All right, it looks like we are seeing full dive from Iowa Central here. With the exception here, I think Rolexity keeping that hit scan just for the consistent damage. But they are going to be running Echo and Sigma. It's a little bit different than what we've actually seen run on Neo side, and I think even the Wera also a little bit different. See how they position here. It looks like they're opting to take the little bit further back, a little bit safer defense here. They're going to opt to poke out, it looks like, down this long sight line rather than holding that high ground too aggressively, which could spell disaster for the high ground. We'll have to see if CogsofWar can find it in on that high ground or not. SumTingWon taking this back angle, ready to rotate up the high ground. It looks like their plan is just to take high ground. That Echo, of course, putting a lot of work in there, is going to do a lot of damage and finish out that dive while Sigma just pokes down the back line. This is unfortunate. I think this is a situation where we're going to definitely need to see like a full dive. They're probably going to want to have something to deal with that Echo, and then they can dive in on it. As soon as that Echo goes down, that's going to be CogsofWar's in. He does actually manage to take down the Bastion, though, which is actually really good. MiniMachine looking kind of low, so is Rolexity. DPS definitely having a hard time with that back line. You're going to see a support go down as well as Odin. Now just up to the Sigma and Allari. Allari goes down. Sigma's also looking low. Iowa Central continuing to push. CogsofWar going to push in on Loki. Punches him out. Goes in for the Bastion here. He's looking kind of low, though, so he's definitely going to play that one safe. Still got Killer Zombie up on the high ground. CogsofWar going in to push him, but Killer Zombie does use Fade to get out. Got Odin applying pressure from the air here, but unfortunately he's just too far away for it to be very effective. Iowa Central is getting that point past that choke here, getting around Fountain. We do see a couple of ultimates here. We've got Copy on Echo, and we have Meteor Strike from Doomfist, which we are going to see pop out here on the tank. Does manage to get out. Iowa Central does cap that first point. And with all that support CogsofWar is getting, he is going to jump in here. He is looking a little bit low, though. Punches on that Bastion, pulling that cover around, trying to avoid that Echo. Punches their tank back into the team here. It looks like trying to kind of give them a little bit of an advantage in that fight. But decides to turn around for that back line there. And it looks like it's working out, though. He has definitely got his target prioritization really good. He is swapping to the correct targets at the right time and disrupting the tank only when it's necessary. Iowa Central is going to keep pushing that point. It has not really stopped that much here. He's going to keep pushing it. Clear up to the bridge, it looks like, is where they're going to be getting this. And it's going to force EO into a pretty tough situation here as Iowa Central gets closer and closer. They've got 3 minutes and 50 seconds to finish this out. We've got a nano-boosted Doomfist. We could see a pretty big play here. He punches in Loki. Odin's going to copy the Junkrat into their back line. And we're going to see the Gravitic Flux here. CogsofWar still in their back line. They are down 2. He's going to be trying to get out here. Hopefully he can before getting staggered. That Fist is going to keep him up a little bit for his cooldowns to come off. And SumTingWon going to keep him alive. That is not going to be a stagger today. They've got 3 ultimates here. Iowa Central definitely has to play this one safe. They've got 3 ultimates on their end as well. And just about 4 here with CogsofWar. So he should get that ultimate of his pretty quickly here. Just a dive in and a punch, and he has it already. He is going to go ahead and use Meteor Strike. Comes in on the back line. Goes for the Echo. Echo goes down. And he's healing up. Okay, that's their tank down as well. They are going to use Bashing ult. It's not going to get a whole lot. Allari ults the Doomfist. They are going to get MiniMachine taken down. GloryCross goes for the res on that. Doomfist is going to be pushing into the back, trying to get that Allari taken down. We are going to see... Ooh, he misses the punch on the Moira there, but Moira ult luckily does not take him out. Going to see Tire come out, but I don't think it got anything. I think it just died immediately. Not sure. CogsofWar getting 2 picks here. Going to continue pressuring that back line. They need to take down that pylon for sure. That pylon putting in a lot of healing. He is going to go down. It looks like Iowa Central is going to be kind of pushed back a little bit. Rolexity is going to go ahead and pop ultimate, though, and try to continue this, keeping this alive here. He is going in for that for the supports, it looks like, but Loki is going to be able to keep the team alive. CogsofWar is back already, though. The rollouts are very strong. And he's going to be going in for this Allari. Fortunately, that pylon just keeping him alive for way too long. Allari does finally go down, but it's just CogsofWar now, and he gets taken out. They've got 1 minute and 50 seconds here to continue pushing this point. They've got plenty of time. They just have to play this one smart. CogsofWar does have ultimate. We're not seeing very much on Neo's side. We could see Copy here in this next fight, and potentially Allari's ult. Big one's coming up. GloryCross hopefully should be able to get Valk and keep everyone alive through it all, but we're just going to have to see if that's what's going to happen or not. This fight could definitely swing either way. This is match point for Neo. So this really could go either way. Hopefully Iowa Central can take this one, and we can keep playing. Otherwise, this will be Neo taking the win. Looks like that Reaper going into the back line is going to take out GloryCross. That's not going to be Valk today. They may just want to back off and let this Copy run out. They should not use any ultimates here, but we're going to see what happens. Doomfist actually, they did manage to get the pick on Echo there. This could be a really bad misplay for Neo if Iowa Central manages to keep all their team up. CogsofWar going into their back line, trying to make some room for his team to come in. They have some pretty strong ultimates coming up here. We've got Valk, which could could actually be big for Iowa Central. They managed to clear most of the team here. It's just Odin. Doomfist is going to keep applying that pressure. He stops that point just long enough that we may see Neo touch here. But Doomfist getting nanoed, going to run in and try to stop. And it looks like there we have it. Iowa Central, 30 seconds on the clock, is going to finally win their first round here. We're seeing 1 and 2. Let's watch us play the game, and we will be right back for our push map. All right, everybody, and here we are, 4th round. Don't see that very often, but we are going to be moving on to push, and we are going to be doing Coliseo for that map. Same comp, it looks like, for Iowa Central, and we are 1 and 2. This is still match point for Neo, so Iowa Central definitely going to have to reverse sweep this map. They will have to win this one and the Flashpoint in order to win, but we'll have to see if that's what it's going to come down to or not. Could see Neo completely take away this game on push, but no, is what it is. We'll have to find out. Curious to see which tank they're going to pick here, and it looks like Loki is going to be opting for the Orisa. Definitely anticipating the Doomfist from CogsofWar, and we've seen this just kind of put in just all the work in the world on that Doom. It's been absolutely crazy to see that. All right. See this fight break out. It looks like Doomfist is going to be applying that pressure up close by the robot. And we're going to be seeing Neo kind of holding back with their more of a bunker comp, really close to a bunker comp. Bunker hasn't been a thing really since Double Shield, but it's about as close as you could get to it, I suppose. Doomfist going to punch into the back here, hits a big slam, but unfortunately is not going to be able to get out in time. Does go down. That Suzu is actually really good at keeping the team alive. MiniMachine is also going to go down. Iowasentral definitely needs to get out. Ooh, that's a little bit of a dangerous res there. Not much Iowasentral can really do to get back. No, CogsofWar is going to be back in time, though, it looks like. Unfortunately, GloryCross does go down. But we could see potentially CogsofWar turn this around. We'll have to see. Get the big slam into the back. Punches Odin in. That's 1 DPS down. Going to continue to block here, it looks like, and that's not going to be very far that Neo's going to be able to push. Looks like CogsofWar going into the back. They're going to take out the support. Another support goes down from Rolexity on that Bastion. CogsofWar is going to finish out that tank, and they're going to start to push. They are going to be able to make up that distance that Neo was able to push here, it looks like. Got 3 ultimates on Iowasentral side, and a couple coming up here on Neo as well pretty soon, but they don't have them yet. Meteor Strike's going to come out. And he's gonna hit that. Right at the edge here. Gives him an escape if he has to, which he did go ahead and take the advantage of that. He's gonna get. Nano, yeah, he did get nanoed. It looks like. Fortunately, he looks like he may have fallen out of the back door there. GloryCross does go down. It looks like. Iowasentral is gonna kind of be forced to back off here. MiniMachine also goes down. Be SumTingWon down as well. I think CogsofWar just kind of misplayed that angle a little bit there. Just kind of fell off the ledge twice on accident. They did get some decent distance push there. You got up to that bridge, it looks like. Or sorry, just for that bridge. Neo should be able to make this ground up, but CogsofWar is definitely going to try and prevent it. Looks like they're just waiting for Rolexity to kind of catch up a little bit. Oh, CogsofWar going in, gets Javelin and antied, and that is going to be him down. They are just focusing all their resources onto every single one of his dives. Rolexity going to get 2 kills there with his Bastion ult, though. SumTingWon getting a big anti-heal. This could be a big play for Iowasentral, actually. But it doesn't look like they capitalize very well on it. Rolexity does not really go in on it. Of course, they do have their tank there still, so this is a little dangerous. CogsofWar comes in. They get an anti on the Orisa. CogsofWar being pushed around by that Javelin. It looks kind of funny. Seeing 4 ultimates here. Rush is going to be coming out too on Iowasentral side. We'll have to see. Does not look like anything comes out of the Orisa ult, but Iowasentral is going to be going down to that Bastion ult and a little bit of follow-up from the team. Got a big anti on Rolexity and CogsofWar here. We could see that be a hard stagger, and definitely getting a lot of range or distance there. Neo may be getting on here, actually. Getting that forward spawn, of course, is going to be a huge advantage going forward for the rest of the match. Now, there is 6.5 minutes on the clock, so really still anyone's game. Definitely seeing some reverse sweep, crazy reversals happen here. Ooh, and that 3K from MiniMachine's tire may actually be what Iowasentral needs. And then we're going to see Bastion win the duel on Iowasentral side. That is going to start pushing up here. Iowasentral could catch this distance up. They're probably going to have another fight by the time they get to the middle here, so we'll have to see. That forward spawn is going to let them kind of take middle. Okay, Iowasentral does cancel their forward spawn, though, but they are going to have to take this next team fight. Okay, Javelin comes in. That's Javelin down. CogsofWar is going to go ahead and hit that back line. Goes for that Soldier. Soldier is doing his best just to stay alive and play that cover. We are going to see Rolexity and MiniMachine go down. That's the DPS down on Iowa Central side. Doomfist is going to try and make that up here. Pulls out the Meteor Strike after getting the Doomfist. Jumps in on the Soldier. Soldier did put in a lot of work there, killing the supports. He popped his ultimate. He is going to be forced to get out, but Iowa Central may be able to prevent them from getting much ground there, them being down 2 players and not having forward spawn. Ooh, and we're seeing a really big snipe there with that bomb. Unfortunately, he didn't finish that one out, but he very well could have. That is going to be forward spawn once again for Neo. We're just having a really hard time dealing with this Orisa. And CogsofWar is going to go down. Junkrat also going down. Iowa Central is kind of falling apart here, and we are going to see Neo pushing that point up. See Rush coming out from Neo's side. Bastion does manage to get 2 picks though in Iowa Central's back line, so it's gonna be a really tough fight. CogsofWar is doing his best to take out this Kiriko. They're just having a really hard time. That Kiriko survivability is pretty crazy. Iowa Central is going to start pushing that robot around, it looks like. Neo is going to be taking that short path around. CogsofWar is going to be trying to prevent them from taking that fight right there. Rolexity is going to take down Odin. That's going to be pretty big. CogsofWar putting the Gravitic Flux in here. It's going to be getting a couple of picks. Iowa Central is going to be able to push that robot around, actually. Winning a team fight with that poke there is actually really big. So yeah, a little bit of a comp swap here with Cogs going on that Sigma, but it does seem to be working. And they managed to get the robot back up to the barrier here. We're going to see Nano on Cogs as he pokes down this Soldier, applies that pressure up onto that high ground as well. Just kind of trying to keep them from really stopping this point. We're going to see MiniMachine popping his ultimate here. Does get the Bastion really big. Iowa Central actually has a pretty big advantage here. Then keep pushing this robot and may even be able to get it up to 4th spawn here. Got Odin taking this off angle. Rolexity's going to be pressuring him down. Loki comes in, pops his ultimate. It looks like we're trading blows here. Iowa Central down 3 though. It's going to be pretty rough here. It's going to be Cogs and GloryCross really that have to take control of this robot. Does get the rock off on the Sojourn, unfortunately. Yeah, he does manage to actually take her down, but he is going to go down here eventually. It looks like. But it's a pretty good stagger being able to get the support down. At least if you're going to go down, take one down with not too bad. Unfortunately, the Kiriko does have Swift Step, so probably not going to be too much of a loss here, especially if they can get it back up to forward spawn. Rolexity should have definitely dropped before they got forward, but instead opts for their back line. Does manage to take out the opponent's, the opposing Bastion, so that's actually pretty good. Got a few ultimates here on Iowa Central side. We're going to see Sigma pop his. It's 1 pick from it, 2 picks from it. And they just got to finish this tank out. They've used 2 more ults they probably didn't have to. CogsofWar is going to finish off Loki. All they need to do is finish off the Moira, and they do that as well. They have 1 minute here. They just got to push this robot and keep that fight going. They're probably going to have to play into overtime, even if they do win the next few fights. It's probably going to come down to overtime, and they're just pushing it, and they're going to have to hope that it's enough. Iowa Central loses 1 more team fight, is definitely going to be over. You see Bastion ult on their side. Iowa Central does manage to avoid it. CogsofWar sticking with that robot here. It's playing a little bit closer than he would probably like to be. You're going to see Rush come out from Neo, as well as Visor. really big combo, and that looks like that Moira ult as well is going to be cleaning up that game. You know, definitely a bad play from IO essentially using all their ultimates on that last fight. But it is what it is. It's just very unfortunate it took them so long to probably swap that tank. It's just really tough to keep going in with that Doomfist. They have the Orisa. Which unfortunately looks like it's not going to be able to touch here as they're hitting overtime. It's going to be GG. Neo is going to be taking today's set, but it was definitely hard fought from IO Central, especially not with their starting lineup. So I am definitely proud of the progression that they've made, and they've got some work to do for sure, but a little bit of an abnormal play. We'll watch us play the game real quick, and then we'll close this out. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching so much, and I appreciate all your support. Feel free to subscribe and hit that notification if you want to see more of our streams going forward. You know, dropping a like always lets us know if you like it or not. But mostly just tuning into the streams is really good, and we do appreciate it. Have a good night, everyone, and we hope to see you guys another time.